we're back and we're talking about meditation. And if you've tried it and you think it's not possible for me, or maybe it's not really worth anything, so I'm not even going to try it, I'm here to tell you you're totally missing out. I'm joined by my friend Elena, who also has questions about meditation, and so hopefully we'll bring some clarity to that today.
So when something's new, it's hard, or I don't want to, challenging. It's challenging at first.
Good choice.
And I feel like I can only do guided meditations where I actually feel what I would call like tingles in my body, or I feel light, or I feel like I could fall asleep, or I feel like I can get some sort of revelation. And I want to be able to do it by myself. I want to be able to be silent, and I want to be able to meditate on something and to imagine, manifest, if you're into that, if that resonates. Um, However, when I have tried recently, only fear, like things are coming up that I don't want to meditate on. Things are coming up that I want to talk to my therapist about more than I want to meditate on. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I even set the positive intention before I do. Like I already know what I've already heard what people say. I for a long time I thought I wasn't creative. I thought I wasn't good at being imagination. Like I thought I didn't have an imagination. And so, I mean, like it's literally like retraining my brain. And I'm open-minded to it. However, the challenge is there, and all I can do is keep trying and keep trying. I know with kind of like when working out or anything you do, like consistency is what's king or queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I am still having to use guided meditations, and I would like to level up.
Yeah. So for me, I started with guided meditations, and I also sometimes still do a guided meditation. But what I have progressed to is I have to have the quiet time in order to hear. If I'm guided the entire time, then I'm guided into thoughts. And guided meditations are perfect because they help guide your thoughts to the here and now. But the process, or meditation in particular, the purpose for it is just to quiet your mind. If you know that everything is energy, you know that we are just receivers. And if this is something you need a little bit more clarity on, check out one of the previous videos that we've done, because we do discuss that there. But everything is energy, and we are all simply receivers. These physical bodies are receivers. So we are receiving thoughts based on the frequency that we are on. And I 100% know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to trying to meditate when you're in a lower frequency, because it's like someone is beating you up with your own thoughts, and they come so quickly that you can't get them to stop.
I mean, that's why people drink alcohol.
It's
That's why
exactly right. That's exactly right.
numb fantasy. Yeah.
This is why I love a cold plunge, because it will help you to be very aware of what's happening here, so that you can start shifting your frequency intentionally versus having something done for you. So I have and it is part of the evolution of your soul. Just here trying to figure out exactly what to do in order to stay in the highest frequency. And every single person's journey looks different, so there's no right or wrong. It's about being graceful to yourself. I would say meditation is the practice of quieting your mind, but you might sit, if you're like me, you might sit for 15 minutes and have 30 seconds of quiet. But that 30 seconds is more than what you had the day before. And just like you're saying, like going to the gym, working a muscle, it's about consistently choosing the silence over the thoughts. And you'll go from 30 seconds to 45 seconds and I'm telling you, I've been meditating for a long time. And when I say a long time, I should probably put some reference to that. I've been meditating consistently for about a year. I dabbled in it a little before, but I just didn't really know the value of it because I didn't understand things as clearly as I do now. Actually, I've been meditating for more than a year. It's probably been like a year and a half. But what I always thought meditation was I should be getting something from it. I should leave different. The different that you leave with is there. You just might not see it right away. But when you can sit with your thoughts and you imagine that you are the sky and that your thoughts are clouds, it gives you the ability to go, oh, there was a thought. Huh, okay, let me watch them come. And how about as I watch them come, I count them instead of jumping on them and riding them and letting them then dictate who I am. What if I just started counting them or going, oh, I see you? Or, and for me, one of the best ways to really have control over this is to realize that I am a spirit being here in a fleshly body, and also to give them like a parent child type relationship. So having the spirit and the body, the two becoming one, is knowing that you're going to experience this physical reality and all of the frequencies that are on it, but you are a spirit being and you want to stay more aligned with that. So when this flesh body attracts these low frequency thoughts, if you can treat it as like your child and you're the best mother ever, and that sometimes can be hard if you didn't have the best parents ever, and no one has. My mom was pretty dang close to perfect, and yet she still wasn't perfect. My dad was the perfect example for everything that I needed, but he wasn't perfect. So it's about thinking about a baby as they're going to walk for the first time. You never like smack them upside the head when they fall and go, dummy, get up, get up.
You
Abraham
should know how
Hicks.
to walk.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks uses that analogy all the time, and I think it's so perfect. But if you think of yourself as, this is my very first day of being this age in this body ever. So everything that I do today is brand new to me. And if it's, yeah, if it's brand new to me, then I should let myself off the hook. I've never lived this day before.
But that's okay. So this, what I'm hearing you say, I want to do some active listening. Okay. What I hear you saying is the mistake I'm making is probably judging my thoughts that are coming up. I'm doing that whole perfection, like there's a right or wrong way to do it. And if I'm doing it wrong, then I might as well just quit. That's a lot. I think people do that with a lot of stuff in life. I've definitely done it with working out. So what you're saying is even if I only get 30 seconds and the rest of the time I just count my thoughts and I treat them with compassion, then maybe the next time I'll get 45, and then I'll get so good at it eventually that I'll look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I used to get thoughts.
Yes, because that's exactly where I'm at. And I still get thoughts. I still get thoughts.
Even a year and a half in.
Absolutely. I get, and that's the brilliance of life, is you get to choose every day. Do I want to choose these thoughts? Sometimes the thoughts that are coming aren't bad thoughts, and I'm like, oh, I'll entertain these for a few minutes and then I'm going to excuse them because they're good thoughts about what I'm going to do that day. Like, ooh, I'm going to do this because if I'm the main character in my own movie, this does sound good to me and this does sound good to me. So they're high feeling thoughts. So they must be coming from a higher self. So it doesn't mean I shouldn't have them. It just means I need to be aware of where they're coming from. And even still, when they're coming and they're really good, then I will entertain them for a minute. Like, okay, this is revelation. This is download information. This is good stuff. But if I get into this low energy type feeling, immediately I felt that. I felt that, and I don't want to go there. So we're going to quiet our minds again. Because it can be like a little lost puppy. It
feels like judgment. You know what I'm saying? So then I get stuck there. Then I'm like, oh, I just like.
Yep. And it's in that moment that you remember, this is my very first time being this age in this body ever. And so it is only natural that this is going to be a challenge for me. If I was going to walk on a tightrope, I wouldn't expect to walk it perfectly the first time. It would take time to balance. And this is something completely new to the majority of the population. Most people don't even know the benefits of meditation. But all you're doing is slowly but surely, incrementally increasing your frequency so that you can access better feeling thoughts. That's it. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to prove. You're not doing anything right or wrong. The thoughts that are coming are the purpose in the meditation.
I laugh because you're right. It's like I think to myself, like, why am I judging? Like, it's just me and me, or me and God. So why am I sitting there like I'm doing it wrong? I quit.
Exactly. That's your lower self. That's the frequency of the flesh. Those are those lower frequency that you want to be aware of so that you can overcome it. Because that's how you love yourself, is when you hear that your self-talk isn't loving and you choose love instead. So when that thought comes like, dang it, I'm not doing this right, then you go, you know what, you're right. Maybe I haven't mastered this right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't, but that's okay. This is my very first day being this age in this body. And this is something completely new to me. And I'm not going to give up, and I'm not going to stop, and I'm not going to walk away just simply because it's challenging. If I walked away from every challenge, I would never be victorious.
You know how people sometimes are like, oh, just say words of affirmation until you believe it. And
That never
some
worked.
people, yeah, some people are like, oh, that's a lot. It's because you're lying to
To
yourself.
yourself.
You have to believe. Like, I'm really
Yeah.
starting to understand. Like, you have to believe what you're saying. Like, I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, I love myself. I love myself. But if the next thing I do is go, oh, I don't look pretty in this, or oh, I'm not good enough for this guy.
Yes, that's not loving yourself. Exactly.
So it's like unconsciously or whatever. I know I don't. I'm not literally in the frequency of love.
Yes. And what's so great is that you're not really thinking those things about yourself. You're
No.
just receiving those thoughts because of the frequency that you're on. So the meditation is vitally important because it incrementally raises your frequency so that you can incrementally get up. And let me let you off the hook when it comes to guided meditations. Guided meditations are still keeping your thoughts in the present, which means you're not looking backwards and you're not entertaining negative thoughts, which means it's still going to raise your frequency.
I want to meditate right now.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't even care if I do it
wrong. Yeah, because there is no such thing as wrong. It's like telling someone.
That's the frequency thought.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Someone that wants to run a race and they get out and run and they didn't do the entire race on their first time out and they say, oh, I can't. I tried to run that and I can't run 13 miles. And somebody would say, well, how long have you been training? Well, I just went today. Okay. And you think you're supposed to do that?
It's kind of audacious. It's a little
it truly is.
prideful.
It's just the frequency that you're on. Those are the only thoughts you have access to. But quieting your mind a little bit at a time and letting yourself off the hook. Like, even if you just quiet your mind for 2 seconds, go, oh, I did that. I just did that for 2 seconds. And one of my favorite things to do is focus on the air coming in your nose. It's cold. And then when you let it come in your nose, bring it all the way up to your third eye and then hold it for like 4 seconds. And then as you exhale out of your nose, feel the warmth of the air as it comes out. And you do that over and over and you count them. Now you've completely quieted your mind because all you're focused on is the way the air feels coming in your nose. You bring it up to your third eye. So now you really bring the energy up to where it counts. And then as you exhale the warmth of the air and you can feel the warmth. And you can even think to yourself, like, if everything is energy and I am energy, then as I sit and I breathe in this energy, it's automatically raising my energy. So I will breathe in new energy and I will feel like all of the energy around me is permeating me, even through my skin. And as I'm breathing it in, I imagine my entire body like filling up with this white light of pure energy. And then I hold it here at the top, right at the top of my head. And then as I exhale, I imagine that all of that white light has grabbed onto all of the dark energy and is expelling it out through my breath. And then when I take in another breath, then it's again more bright energy. And because you're doing that, you're in the moment. You're not really thinking. You're doing something that is truly raising your energy because you're thinking high vibrational. You're not allowing your thoughts to go anywhere in the past. And so none of those frequencies have access to you in that moment, which gives you the ability to incrementally increase it.
As I was doing it, there did a few of them, and I even felt like my muscles in my seat start to relax, and then I felt the seat
Yes.
underneath me.
Yes. And a
I
good,
can't wait.
I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
you've,
keep trying. You know
yeah,
I won't give up.
yeah. Another really great thing to try are the gateway tapes. They are a guided meditation, but they use the hemisync technology, which is hemispheric synchronization of the sides of your brain. So they'll put one, you'll do it with ear pods or air something on your ears. And there's one frequency going in one ear and one going in the other. And then when you first start hearing them, it just sounds like the same thing. But then when your brain starts synchronizing, you'll hear, and it just sounds like a wah, wah, wah kind
I
of
had to
noise.
stop at the second one because I started feeling a lot.
Yes,
so
it's intense.
I do think that people should
do it slowly. Yes.
That well, and when you have the energy and time and like attention, it takes a lot of a focus.
Yeah,
like I realized my lower like I need to. There's something about focus that you really need.
Yeah, you want to set aside a good hour because you want to do it, and then you want to be able to kind of marinate in it for a little bit. It's pretty powerful.
But they are like I was only 2 in, and I was like, what? Like,
yeah,
what?
I had to go backwards and start over and just do like one over and over and over, and then go to 2 and do it over and over and over. But yeah, I could definitely tell a difference in my energy throughout the day after doing those as well. So what I'll do is have my own little quiet time meditation, and then I'll set aside time to do that hemisync. Because yeah, pretty perfect. And then I want to touch on one other subject because someone actually messaged me yesterday and asked me this question, which was, how do you know that you're in a deep state of meditation, or if you're just sleeping? There is definitely a difference. If you find yourself falling asleep, it's a good idea to get yourself in an upright position, maybe even in a chair, something that you can't fall asleep. Now, I have fallen asleep during plenty of meditations. I was doing a meditation the other day, and as I'm sitting like this, I felt my entire body as I jerked myself back up because I dozed off. And there's nothing wrong with that. That just means that you've literally got your brain in such a quiet frame of mind that your body is able to go to sleep. So it's not a bad thing, but meditation is that space right before sleep. And it takes practice to find that without going into the sleep. It does take practice. It's not something that happens overnight. But what you begin to feel is this just complete detachment from your physical body. It's as if you don't know where your fingers or your toes are because you don't even have any. When the Bible says that the kingdom of God is within you, it's like going to church, baby. That's the best way to put it. And I have yet to have any like profound lucid visions, which I hear a lot of people talking about, but I am looking forward to that, and I know they will come. But for me now, I would say the most profound experience that I have had is, for me, it's as if I am in outer space and everything around me, there's nothing that exists around me. There's nothing. I'm literally floating in space, and I can see little tiny white dots that look like stars. Oh, is it? I've never.
His guided meditations literally say that.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to listen to one.
I might want to
listen. You're already on that train.
Yeah, but it feels like I'm just in this outer space. There have been times where I have seen something really crazy a lot of times, which is like flashes of scenes that are very vivid and very realistic, but they're flashing so fast. They're not of anything that's familiar to me. It's almost as if I'm seeing time happen all at once from a perspective where I can't see it all at once, but it flashes through like just all these different scenes. And and it will be, they're not the same. Like it'll be medieval, and then like just different.
Like quantum mechanics. Like we can get into that later.
Yes, exactly. All that to say, just don't go in with, that was another thing. I went in with these expectations of what I should experience based on
Should.
what other people have experienced, and then I began judging that. And so just have no expectation. The bottom line is we are all individual codes. We are all individual souls. Every one of us has a different place and a different purpose. So every experience is going to be different. Going into it with no judgment of yourself, knowing that it is the practice of quieting your mind, which means it's going to take practice, and just allowing whatever will be, and knowing that it's not going to look like anyone else's because it's not supposed to. Let it be authentic to you, and get yourself in a position that it's going to be challenging for you to fall asleep. And if you fall asleep, be proud of yourself that you were relaxed enough that you could get there, which means that you're
Doing
farther
good.
than most people, because most people can't sit
Quit.
long enough to fall
Yeah.
asleep. Yeah,
Quit.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that was pretty great. We're right at 20 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Be happy to answer those for you. And this will be our last video for today, but we
Yep.
will definitely be back doing these again. Again, just kind of covering some of the topics of the awakening process, and in particular, focusing on how the Bible can be translated from a higher perspective versus the human perspective, which is how we both kind of knew it. But knowing it from the higher perspective is so much more powerful. Have a great day, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you next time.